like, sure, I'll listen because I'm here.
Sure.
Call meeting to order. Everybody else set? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chief, if you would.
Father in heaven, we pray as we go forward in this meeting that you guide our paths, our thoughts, and our words. Help us to do the best for this community. We give you praise in Jesus' name.
Alrighty, roll call. Barkowska.
Here.
Chambers. Freeland.
Here.
Shaver.
Here.
Valentine. Here. Alrighty. There you go. Good enough. All right. Get it out. Get right to the agenda. So we have the approval of the regular council meetings from February 25th, 2025. Do we have an emotion to approve the minutes?
Motion approved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
That was easy. Sorry, Bill, you're still looking for it?
What do we get, the minutes?
Yeah,
Let's
minutes.
approve the minutes for the 2025. Do you have any questions on it?
Not that I remember off the top. That's okay.
Did we already do that? Now we have approval of the closed session council meetings for February 25th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the closed council meeting?
You guys were not in, so you don't have.
Yep.
So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
3.
All right, and then approval of closed session number 2, council meeting minutes for February 25th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Aye. Oh, you're me. Whatever.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. And then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now approval of the monthly bills. Has everybody had a chance to go over them? How's that set up, Bill? We're gonna keep going until we get it right.
Like I said, that one looks good, but this is fine too. This is
Isn't that the same as the one that you said you liked?
No.
pretty close.
How isn't it?
No, we just didn't have a finished one like you have it. It's fine. It's fine.
Motion to approve bills as presented.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
No.
Oh, yeah. Roll call.
There is no discussion or question.
Margot, you got any questions? See you looking.
No, okay. Shaver,
Yes.
Barkowska,
Yes.
Freeland,
Yes.
Chambers. Yes. Valentine.
Yes. All right, now in front of you guys, we do have the USDA Phase 2 invoice approval for Spicer for February, which is $15,926.50. Any questions regarding?
And that still gives us a total of the 112. Oh, right. Or is that up to
That's the grand total of what the request will be, because you have the progress payment from Fisher plus the 15, whatever.
Okay. I'm gonna share this. I think I'm in the right direction here. I'm making sure I got them all separated here.
All right. Any questions?
This is just okaying for USDA.
Yes. To submit to USDA,
Right.
and then USDA sends us the money, and then I pay them. All right, do I have a motion to approve the use? Oh, okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
And roll call. I was on a roll with all those eyes. Shaver,
Yes.
Freeland,
Yes.
Chambers. Yes. Parkowska,
Yes.
Valentine. Yes. All right, and then we also have the USDA. Second one, that's gonna be for phase 2 invoice approval for the Fisher contracting, which is gonna be the 96,168.50. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, and then roll call. Chambers. Yes. Shaver.
Yes.
Parkowska.
I have to comment that I don't like her. That Katie there, she lied to me and I really didn't like it. I go yes on this, but I don't like her.
What happened?
She took asphalt away from the church and said she didn't have to put it back. She said it's against the law, and I showed her with tapes and everything else that it wasn't. So I'm just telling you, I don't like the lady.
Oh, by the stop sign? Are you talking about the
Yes.
one by the park?
I proved to her that it was legal, and she still wouldn't put it back. Now, Betty Gordy parks on grass because they took away a spot for her and her husband.
Point of order on this, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, that I don't have any.
Just making a note.
Excuse me? Did you say me?
Yeah, that
He
he,
used you as an example.
they took away your parking spot, and I tried to stop that lady from saying we were allowed to have that. We had it there before.
Park in front of your, no, I park in front of the church.
That's what I said. Oh, it's always asphalt. I plow it.
Oh,
Yeah, and I wanted to put back. I asked her nicely, and she says no. And she said, we're gonna put stone there. And I said, no, you're not. Me and her didn't get along.
but I park on the grass.
That's okay.
And
that's
I'm there an hour.
Yeah, it's
God
fine.
bless
No,
me.
it's fine. No, I will.
If you like to park there,
Yeah,
I can park around.
Yeah.
And we need you there.
Yeah.
See you on
It's
Sunday.
okay. Yeah, see you on Sunday. Yeah,
Thank you for clearing that one up.
yeah, I'm sorry.
That one's already done. Oh, I haven't finished. Okay, so you said yes.
Yes.
Freeland.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
I have some videotape in there once in a while. Anyway, go ahead.
So now we also have the 2025 to 2026 budget resolution. So that's what we just went over with the budget reports. You're supposed to read the resolution. That's the lady one. It's attached. Yeah, I know. Let me find it. All right. Resolution to adopt the budget of the Village of Mayville for the fiscal year of April 21st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, and to make appropriations thereafter, therefore. At a regular meeting of the Village of Mayville Council on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the Village of Mayville Hall, 6104 Fulton Street, Mayville, Michigan, the following resolution was presented by Kayla Reed, Village Clerk, Interim Manager. Whereas the village clerk interim manager submitted a budget proposal with her recommendations to the village council, making an appropriation of the money needed therefore, and designating the sum to be raised by taxation. And whereas A notice of public hearing for the proposed budget was published on March 5th and 12th in the Mayville Monitor. And whereas a public hearing was held on March 18th, 2025, concerning the proposed 2025 to 2026 budget. Now therefore be it resolved, as provided in the General Village Law, Act 3 of 1895, and in conformity to the Public Act 621 of 1978, the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act, that the budget attached hereto and made a part of hereof by reference are hereby considered and adopted to be administered on activity department level. As the budget of the Village of Mayville to cover the operations and expenditures thereof for the fiscal year of April 1st, 2025 to April 31st, 2026. Be it further resolved to appoint the village clerk / interim manager as chief financial officer as required by the Uniform Budget Act, and be in further resolved that the Village of Mayville be authorized to transfer necessary amounts between activities, departments, within a fund and up to $5,000 between funds. Be it further resolved that a copy of this budget resolution be furnished to the village treasurer, who shall then proceed to assess and collect the taxes in accordance with the state statutes. Motion by, second by, to adopt the budget of the Village of Mayville for the fiscal year April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, and to make appropriations therefore. Thanks for that. I was going to set that with my.
Gotta go in my packet.
All right, so do I have a motion to approve the budget resolution for 2025 to 2026? I didn't just say that 20 times.
So motion.
And
Do I have a second?
I'll second that, unless anybody has any questions before we vote up.
Roll call.
No, you didn't
Okay,
answer
but
that.
no
No,
question.
she said no
I
question. I
said
said, no, I
anybody has
asked
any
him already.
question. No, I'm just making sure, I don't wanna,
No,
rush
no, that's
anything.
it, yeah.
So Parkowska,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Freeland,
yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes. All right, now we also have a resolution for the wage.
So like I said, that just has the basic 3% cost of living on it, except for
There's changes to
the contracted positions did not get a raise, and I did not do the part-time officers since them were just all confirmed and clarified. I didn't do anything with them.
All right, ready for me to read this one? Resolution to approve salary and wages for the Village of Mayville for the fiscal year of April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026. At a meeting of the Village of Mayville Village Council on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Mayville Village Hall, 6104 Fulton Street, Mayville, Michigan, the following resolution was presented by Kristen Valentine, Village President. Whereas the Village of Mayville employs a clerk, interim manager, treasurer, custodian, interim zoning, administrator, enforcement officer, DPW sewer operations, DPW water operations, a DPW buildings and maintenance supervisor, 2 DPW workers, lien certified officer, office administrator, crossing guard, 3 part-time police officers, and a chief of police on a full-time, part-time, seasonal, contracted, and irregular part-time basis. And whereas the Village Council has approved the following salaries and wages for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. 1. Interim clerk manager, $26.78 per hour, contracted for 24 to 32 hours per week. 2. Treasurer, $20 per hour, contracted for 12 to 18 hours per week. 3. Custodian, $20 per hour, 5 hours per week, contracted with no benefits, no vacation, personal time, or raises. 4. Interim zoning administrator, enforcement officer, $20 per hour, contracted for 20 hours per week, contracted with no benefits, no vacation, no personal time, or raises. 5. DPW sewer operations, $22.26 per hour, contracted for 40 hours per week. 6, DPW water operations, $25 per hour, 20 hours per week, contract with, per month, contract with no benefits, vacation, personal time, or raises. 7, DPW buildings and maintenance supervisor is $21.29 per hour, third contracted for 32 to 36 hours per week. 8, DPW worker number 1, $20.37 per hour, contracted for 24 to 32 hours per week. 9, DPW seasonal worker with CDL, $20 an hour, or $20.69 per hour, contracted out to 40 hours per week during snow events. 10, lien certified office administrator, is $21.21 per hour, contracted for 18 hours per week. 11, crossing guard, $15 per hour, 5 hours per week maximum, contracted with no benefits, no vacation, no personal time, and no raises. 12, part-time police officer, 4 years of service is $20 per hour. 13, 2 part-time police officers, 5 years of service, $22 per hour. 14, chief of police, $25.89 per hour, contracted for 32 hours per week. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Village of Mayville does resolve to adopt these salaries and wages for the fiscal year of April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026. Certification, I hereby certify that the foregoing is a true and complete resolution adopted by the Village Council of the Village of Mayville at a meeting held on the 18th day of March 2025.
Like I say, this is the state only for the ones that are there now. This is only for the ones that are currently employed. Anybody new has to
4
come
years
before.
of service before they make that,
No,
or 5
but
years of
just
service, yeah.
everybody, if Joe quits or goes and gets another job,
Well, the next
we're gonna
person
pull
starts
somebody,
out
but we have to come before us and decide according to their ability what they get. These are only for the ones we have now.
right.
That needs to be noted. Otherwise, than that is perfect.
And I thought we had decided, Kayla's was $26. Where did the 78 cents come from?
That's the
3%.
So we're giving you another raise. We're giving you 2 raises in 1 month.
Commissioner's going to receive the raise due to being the clerk for the whole year.
You don't have to, obviously.
Oh, I just wanted to know where the 78 cents, because I thought we said 26 and I thought I missed something. So just wanted to clear that up.
All right, so do I have a motion to approve the 2025-2026 wage resolution?
So motion.
Second.
Thank you. And then roll call.
Freeland,
Yes.
Barkowska,
Yes.
Shaver.
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Valentine.
Yeah. All right, now also in front of you from Decker, we do have an insurance renewal proposal. Has everybody had a chance to look at that one? So as many know, Kayla and I met with the insurance agent, well, what do you really call them? The handler?
No, we're his handler.
But we met with the insurance adjuster. And so this is the rate difference from last year to this year.
There will be a minor amendment come, as I had mentioned that we were getting a new playground at Bowdice Park, so they'll be sending us an amendment for that, but I don't know how soon we'll get it. It'll be after this gets paid, I'm sure. But that was like the only change that we had.
Yeah, because most of the changes you made when they were coming, so the fire
Yeah,
truck and
we had a
everything.
lot of vehicles, obviously, with the buying and selling of things that changed throughout last year, but as far as I know, that's the only change that needs to be made. And you'll see how close I was to the budget for what we were quoted. I was pretty shocked. But
All right, so I have a motion to approve the insurance renewal proposal.
So motion.
And do I have a second? Alright, and then we'll do a roll call.
Yeah, I'm going to put in that motion the dollar amount, just so you know, for $49,094. So Shaver and then Chamberlain. Any other discussion?
Roll call.
Shaver,
Yes.
Freeland,
Yes.
Chambers, Barkowska,
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes. All right, we also do have a motion on the table to waive the water bill penalties. There was an issue with the actual post office with getting the water bills out on time. So we want to make them, if anybody would like to make a motion to waive the water bill penalties for the month.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Cause I talked to him at the post office, cause I just got mine a week ago Friday. And I went in and asked them, and she said usually they keep them in town, but
They were doing their
they were
audit.
doing their mail count,
Yeah.
so everything, nothing goes to Saginaw anymore other than packages, she said, and the girl told me that everything went to Pontiac, and it was slowly trickling in. I checked twice about my bill, and they were mailed out on the 21st.
And like I said, I've literally had
I think put 100.
at least 100 calls and emails about it.
and stuff. And
It
she said
has
it was 'cause
made
of
the
mail
last
count.
couple of weeks.
Caitlin, I have a question on the water bills. I've had a couple of people ask me why they have a $14 or $15 difference on their water bill.
So
When
I
you
got
add
it.
it up, there's like a difference there.
If there's storm sewer on your bill, your garbage falls off typically. The postcards, I need to call the SNA and see, because if you look at like the very top, it looks like there's an extra line that everything could shift up. Well, that's getting into the behind the scenes of things that I don't know how to do either. So I need to see if we can actually move everything up, or I was trying to find a bigger format bill, but I'm not having any luck with that either. I really don't want to go back to full page and having to stuff envelopes. I mean, we pay 56 cents for a postcard. It's 73 cents to mail an envelope, and then the time of folding and stuffing and doing the whole bit. It would be way more expensive to do that every month. But yeah, when we added that second sewer project fee, it added one too many lines to what shows.
Thank you.
And I've had several calls about that too, and it's like another thing on my to-do list, but everything is so time consuming and tedious. Even the SNA, you can't just call them anymore and like get help. It's 3 hours later you get a call back.
Yeah, we're definitely having trouble with the Mayville post office. What do we file charges or file complaints against them? I can go mail something in Vassar and they get it the same day.
Well, even
This all goes to Pontiac. Why does it go to Pontiac?
it doesn't every month. This was just, apparently they do
Done
these
about
mail
everything I
counts.
got back.
According to what they told me, they do these mail counts like twice a year generally. And he said, I'll try to make sure I warn you next time. I don't know, because I'm like, yeah, that would have been nice, you know? I mean, I don't think it would have mattered, because it sounded like, obviously, the federal government has a lot of stuff going on and things they're looking into. So I don't know if it would have mattered to take them somewhere else.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if I'd have to be one personally, take them over to Vassar or something and drop them in. I said,
Yeah, I don't know,
that's what
because
it
I
takes,
even
'cause this
talked
is
to.
terrible.
Yeah, because I went up there twice and that's what they said.
Oh.
His mail
this-
count and it's
well,
slowly
I just got
trickling
my,
in.
I just got my January one and it had March 5th on it. It was the third stamp across it.
Yeah,
And
and
they're
I've had
all been
other
up
people that
and-
are like, oh, I got this month's bill, but I didn't get last month. I just talked to, she works at the post office in Reese, and said it's not, nothing gets lost forever.
Forever,
It
yeah.
just gets misplaced for a while, and it's everywhere. Like, there is an issue, like I said, obviously the federal government's got a lot of how long we'll even have a postal service at this rate. I mean, what are we gonna do without them? I have no
By
idea.
design, it'd be like Amazon, I get it the next day.
Well, there's some stuff that blows my mind, that I'll get something that was literally postmarked 2 days before and it came from God knows where. And I'm like, how did my bills end up in China before they came here? There is no rhyme or reason to it.
You might have to start doing Amazon. 'cause they're
I
quick.
mean, so on that note, while we're at it though, I just implemented the new BS&A credit card payment option, which is going to open up the availability for a lot more auto pay options if you're interested, paperless billing and all that. I'm not sure, we just started it Wednesday last week, so I haven't done a billing or anything with it to know how it works. If somebody were to sign up for paperless, you might still get a bill from me because I'm not quite sure how on the back end it's gonna correlate with each other. But there's the like IVR interactive voice recording number that you can call to make a payment. And like, I'm assuming if you can sign up to like get text messages when your bill is issued, and you can say yes to pay now, or you can get on later and pay basically through a text message.
Did they say anything about it?
It's so Point and Pay was a 3% fee.
Yeah, see, just like if you use your credit card. at a
Yeah,
restaurant
I
or
did it
something.
the first one when we first did it.
Yeah.
I said, you owe me $7.
Yeah, so that was like a flat rate of 3% for everything. For this, property tax payments by credit card are 2.8% plus 50 cents per transaction. So it's
Yeah.
depending on your
On
amount.
your amount, absolutely.
Utility billing is 2.95% plus 50 cents per transaction. If you opt to do an ACH, it is $3 per transaction up to $1,000 and $6 per transaction up to $5,000. So ultimately, as far as the cost, I think it's going to be rather equivalent to what we had, but there's the options here, and it eliminates us having, it's all automatic. Like, the minute you make that payment online or over the phone or wherever, it shows up in BS&A, where with Point and Pay, it took 24 hours to get the export that then I had to download and input it into the system. This is all literally instant action, and it's an automatic deposit on our on the backside of BS&A too.
I was curious if the new one will do all the charges, like it won't show you your water usage on BS&A now. It won't show your water usage, it'll show your charge, won't show your usage.
It doesn't? I thought you could see your whole history. Is that like,
I went back once and it said it wouldn't do it. Or I had
do you have a full account set up like with a login, or are you like paying as a guest?
And as a guest, yes.
That might be why.
So I'm
If
just
you
saying,
had a
it
full-on
gives you the
account.
amount, but it might also leave off the garbage. One of them, it leaves one payment off the two, I can't remember which one, but if you know how to do the math, but yeah, it's not perfect, that's a long shot, but that's BS&A. At least it gives you your bill, and the total's correct, but
Right.
it might not
And
explain
I
it.
mean, that's again, because obviously I don't have payments
Sure.
to make online, so that, or I don't try to make payments online or get on this end.
Well, like I said, when you went out that one time, and you had my usage on it here, it won't do it at home. But yeah, just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I will look into it and ask them, but
Sure.
like, I would almost assume if you had a personal account set up with a login, that you would be able to see all of that information more. Where paying as a guest, yeah, you're just getting a total, here, pay this. Why it would not show all the itemized fees, I don't know, because it does on a full page bill if I print it that way, it's just not on the postcard.
Yep.
So I'm not, that I don't get.
No, it does just like the postcard. but
This is also gonna make it available, there's a couple still loose ends that I don't know about, but to be able to like pay for miscellaneous billings, so like, if somebody had like, when DTE has fire bills or whatever, if they wanted to pay, as long as I create an invoice and there's an invoice number to input, you can make any payment online. So like currently, like permits. that's not something that I create an invoice for. They just fill out their application and make payment. I don't know how that's gonna work. That's a question I have, but it does open it up to being able to pay other things as well. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but it seems a lot smoother than the point and pay system at this rate. It's just really figuring it out.
All right, so moving on to next.
Well, I think we didn't actually,
Oh, you didn't do
a roll call on that. Somehow we got in the middle of the discussion. So anyway, we had Freeland and Chambers, motion and second to waive penalties for bills due 3/15.
All right, so roll call.
So Barkowska,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Chambers,
Yes.
Freeland,
Yes.
Valent.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, now we have the as needed portion. Does anybody have anything they need to present? Bill, I know I've seen some of your websites that you talked to. Do you want to?
Yep, talked to them and, they
So
seem
this
in-
one is
in-
GoDaddy?
Yeah, that one's GoDaddy.
Okay.
That one's GoDaddy. The other one's out of California. I can't say I'm overly impressed with him, but I mean, it's very, he had given us some sets, but his was a lot more business oriented than community.
Gotcha.
Seemed very, very intelligent, very friendly, very happy to help. But I don't know if I'm gonna bring a guy from California. The GoDaddy one really was, answered every time, very quick responses. And I like it. And like I said, I checked into two of them revised and prices were different. The sites, they said they're okay. They didn't, jump up and down on it. They said they're all right. The one from Peck said they were in the Stone Ages before they did it, but they've had it since 22. And they paid $1,199.
My question about both of these, the selling point for me on the other one was, like I said, for us, not technologically savvy per se people trying to do the updates. So are they,
On the GoDaddy one, he says the one is very easy for us to do most of the updates. We could do it ourselves. He said, of course, there's some that you're just gonna hire them to do anyway. And it was $120 a month is what he quoted at one time. As you see, he threw a couple different figures, with 10% off here, 20% off there. But like I said, he seemed real easy to work with, and he said we could do our own a lot easier. What he said.
and that, I mean, I guess I don't even know how ours is right now for sure, because it's all through GoDaddy as it stands, as far as I know.
And the sites I played with, most of them are all basically the same. There's a little more graphics on Revise, but I'm not paying for looks, not just to have it because it circles around a little bit or does something. It's still got to do a purpose. I went in and checked out your bill paying, and like I said, I talked to the two ladies, and they were very nice, and they said, yeah, it's okay. And some of them just weren't quite updated, and I was curious. I went through their sites. I don't know why they weren't updated, and I wasn't going to bother these nice ladies who were nice enough to at least give me some information on them. So I don't know. But
Well,
the price
I
just
don't
seems
know.
like a lot.
I mean, I guess.
Well, what we could do is have them come in for a presentation.
Ooh, not these people from
No.
California. I mean, they might be able to do
The
a-
gentleman from Revise, because I mean, technically we already are going through GoDaddy, and if we're already having issues, you know what I mean, with how to navigate the site and how to update it ourselves and stuff, since a lot of it is coding.
Between that and I know, like, almost every time Randy posts something, I'll be like, it's not there. He's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, no, it's not. He'll be like, well, you gotta wait an hour or two. Or you'll see it mobile, but not, or you'll see it on desktop, but not on mobile. Like, it's just them little glitches that drive me insane because I'm the one that's always time crunching.
You can work with GoDaddy. They get into ours and mentioned it. Cool things about it and stuff.
Coding for mobile has to be embedded in, too, because it's a completely different animal when you're dealing with mobile to get it to show up.
But that's how the majority of people are looking at our website,
Right.
I imagine. So I needed to show there more than I needed to show for somebody on a desktop.
I have a question. Bill, are there any other municipalities using it,
Using,
GoDaddy?
we are.
No, I mean, the ones that you looked into.
Well, I don't know, I didn't ask him that. I really got that, he's more after I checked out the package and Marlette and them, and got
I had
talking to them.
looked at
Okay.
it to somebody,
And
I
price,
wrote down.
oh, package, they, no way we paid $10,000 for the site. They paid $1,199 for 2 years. That's a joke. So I was just curious as to why, Marlette didn't update all their,
I can go into different
Pat has
pages to
pictures.
see what they have.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I
They
know.
have picture
My
of it.
website is basically
Uh,
that,
I
and it's
read
not
that.
really made
So
for
I don't know the
municipalities.
packages, I
It
didn't
would be
get into
more,
it that deep, I just wanted to get a
things like their
basic
contracts and stuff
feel
like
for
that are
this, and I
not
called
what we would
GoDaddy,
need.
and the guy was really
I
friendly,
mean,
and
you
he
could
was
technically
right
try to
there.
make your own and stuff.
But he says there's one that
you
we
wouldn't really
easily
be able
could
to
update,
look
not
it up
simple,
where
I
they
mean,
could
there's such things
apply
that
for
go to
things
2
like
feet,
different
because you gotta
permits and
have
stuff
it.
like that.
And he
Right.
said the
So-
firewall.
And
was
I even on
but
this here, because this is
He's
standard
straightforward.
WordPress design,
Like
two
I
hundred
said,
and
in price,
$75.88.
he was really good about that, of course, both,
But
everybody
that's
says
what
in
I'm
30
pretty
days,
sure we paid.
Revise said it,
Pretty
GoDaddy
sure
said it,
that's
so did
through
you get from
WordPress.
California, every one of them has the same date,
Yeah, we
it
did
could go up.
Include the burn
Every one of them
rate
said
through
30 days, it's gonna go up.
$25 a
So
year.
I guess that's a
Well,
corporate
you
thing,
would
I
also be
don't
taking.
know.
The only reason I was asking is because our RC requires that all of the information be out there, it needs to be accessible to the community as well as everybody else in the village.
Right, and like I said, I checked our drop downs and I checked theirs, and some of theirs wasn't totally easy, and some, there was nothing there when you did it, I go, I wonder why I didn't finish. I don't, I guess, see, this is just leading edge, I don't know how fast we need to change, but I would like to try a couple, like I said, bring people in and let's see what they say. Yeah. See if we get our buddies to go on. A couple places are going to it, but, you know. Wait and see. Yeah, they were very interested. I thought you might be interested in it.
Steve, I'm sure in that RRC factor, like ADA compliance matters too,
Yes,
right?
it does, all of that does.
And then we can also have it.
I know that the library is going through that too, but they're doing it outside, they're not doing that.
So, well, we can table the website for now and try to have him come in next month to get more into detail if that works for everybody.
Did you by chance call them and question them anymore, the revise? Did you talk to,
To revise?
the original
Not with the
proposal?
price, I'd be talking money, I said, hey.
Well, I mean, I didn't know,
$10,000
like,
kind of backed me off in a hurry.
so, and that you say 10,000 was for the custom design.
Yeah, you actually had it worked out to where it was 3,000.
It was, so, I
That's a
mean,
year
it's
after the
still-
initial.
No, actually, they have it broken down where they take the initial and they separate it out for the 4 years. So it'd be the three.
It was 8,500 for the ready to use. If we use the 1950 one-time fee for the interactive fillable forms. So you could take 1950 off the 8,500 if you opted to. And they offer it in a 4-year payment plan. So it's $38.50 a year, year 1 through 4. And then it's $2,300 a year after that. So, I mean, I understand that it's still a little pricey, but it's,
I mean, it sounds more comparable.
we're
than
not
the-
asking for $10,000 today, right now, not asking for $8,500 today, right now. We can spread it out over the course of 4 years.
But we'd have to sign a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
In order to get that price, they ain't gonna give it to us now because we might walk away on them.
Well, right. That's true.
Whereas
So,
these other updates, they told us the update, when we talked to him and he says, 120 whenever you had to have it. And it was
And
like
again-
on a monthly issue, but
What do they really have for, like, my selling point is the ease of it literally being like Microsoft Word to do anything. And then having the full-on security. I don't have to worry about security. That's on them. You know what I mean?
like
So,
they said about firewalls and whatnot and security. He talked about that, but like I said, I can call him again and see what he says about
Well, I
the
just- if you
software.
talk
And
to other-
BSNA, everybody does that, so I guess that's almost, I mean, I don't know anybody, all the sites I checked, everybody had BSNA.
That's pretty much
Yeah,
the
that's
number
pretty
one
much it. So
municipal
everybody has it in their
government.
websites.
I just didn't know if you called and you came at them with these comparables and your concerns, they may offer you something better. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't know if you had tried to communicate with them or not.
Well, let's table the website for this for now, and then we'll have him come in and do a presentation, so then we can talk and see if we can have Bill negotiate it down.
How many other companies are there out there? I know you got the GoDaddy and that. One
The one from California, he was just a super guy, and I'm not even
That's
sure
a
how
lot, right?
affiliation he is, but
Right.
it's California, but like,
Right.
most of it, almost all of its examples were businesses more than.
Right.
So he's only gonna have, like you say, 5, 6, 8 pages. He's not gonna have a lot of movement within some, but just for, all depends how big the group is or what they're selling. If they're a, store, they have a lot of things. So he's just too far away, but GoDaddy's been around, like you said, a long time. And I've just talked to different people, and this is like I said, there was another one we could try out too, but I'm not sure about, and that's Wix. I haven't really got with them much yet, but I heard they're compatible too, so.
I haven't heard of that
So
one.
that might give
But
me
the
a
other
chance to get some
municipal
information
one
from them too, so we have something else to.
was
Yeah,
Civic
absolutely,
Plus
absolutely.
that
If you want,
I've listened
to
to.
present the best, sure.
All right, so should we do a motion to table?
I wouldn't worry, it wasn't really on the agenda or
Sounds good.
action item.
So anything else that's needed? Anybody else want to bring anything?
Are we gonna have them come?
Have schedule for revive to come in?
Yeah,
Presentation.
I'll try to get on for. You're saying for the April 18th.
Well, next month we meet with you too, and don't forget that.
You can do it after.
Well, yeah, because that'll be at 6:30.
Right.
Okay.
So we can see if we can get him April 18th, and then just have him put on the agenda.
I'll see what I can do.
Sounds good. All right.
And that way, everybody can ask them questions.
Yeah.
Everybody can.
And actually see if he has any comparisons, like what's the difference between you and GoDaddy, like why, the big price
Yeah.
Why are
jump and
you
stuff
so
like that, you know what I
much
mean?
better than?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So now moving on for the agenda, if everybody's all set for now, we got upcoming training opportunities. Newly elected academy is going to be May 16th and May 17th in Bay City. So if anybody wants to attend that, please get with Kayla so she can get you all registered. Anybody want to do that now or check your schedules and get back with her? President updates. As you guys can see, we have cameras in the building. There's one behind you, one right there, and 2 also in the lobby. This is the first step for us to try to get the building open. So tonight is our test run with the cameras to see how exactly they work and function, so we have a better idea for when we open. But the plan is, and this was talked to with the insurance company, he did say if only one person is here, the doors are not to be opened. This is not for like physical safety reasons. This is for more witnesses reasons. Okay. So if Kayla's the only one here, something happens, there's nobody here to help out or whatever. So right now we are going to start off slow, and I would like to make a motion or have somebody motion opening the hall on Wednesdays from 12 to 2 to start as like a trial run and see how it goes. So if that sounds good, and then we'll see how the cameras work tonight, and then we'll get a set date on opening.
A 2-hour trial run?
Yeah, I figured during lunchtime would be easiest because then people can come, during their lunch really quick and pay their bills. And this is just a trial run to see how it goes. I'm not saying this is how it's going to be staying. This is just to see how it goes at first. And then we'll increase as is.
It's a start at least, it's getting open for a couple hours. Right?
My window to hit though.
I know, I know what you're saying.
I'm assuming we're all gonna get to watch the videos of the interaction with the office to see how it goes.
Yeah, if you want to request, yeah, we have it all set up on the computers now. So I set it up on the computers where we can access it for you. You can sit, watch the videos if you want to. Or even if anything happens, we can download it for you, send it to you.
It's only stored for how long?
It's only stored for 30 days right now.
What's the domain, what's running it?
Rain. And this is only until, because through the insurance company, we are notified that we can get a grant twice a year, but they only offer it in the spring and in the fall. So we already missed the spring cutoff. But the insurance company does offer a $5,000 grant, which you can apply for twice a year. So you can get up to $10,000 a year for security. So that is new cameras, that is dash cams for like DPW. We can even have stuff set up at the park because now the school, since it's being fenced off, they are not open to the public anymore. You cannot go to the school playground and play.
I know this, they take theirs.
Yeah. So now, thankfully, Boat Ice Park is getting finished, so the children of this community can have a place to play. But with that too, we would like to set up security measures there as well, which would be covered under the grant too. Even Omar Park, like this grant can actually help add security to a bunch of different places in our community. So these these cameras right now are just a for now to try to get the village hall open safely and to give everybody peace of mind. So the rank setup is only temporary. Okay, so until we can get this grant, get it in place, and get like security companies out here for quotes, this is what we have in place for now. And that's just so we can get the hall open as soon as possible.
Security companies.
Yep, so we would have them come in, give us, quotes on whatever, like we would like to start now. So like setting up security cameras in the hall. So, we would have to go get 3 bids from the security companies. And we can inform them, like, hey, this is going to be an ongoing thing, so if you want to give us a discount or, you know what I mean, help us out because you will be getting future business from us, we can always try to do that too.
Remind you that grant's not gonna pay for like annual fees and stuff.
Yeah, we would still have to do the subscriptions.
For
So it pays for the cameras.
The
and
cameras.
Yeah,
the-
this
the
is all for
lights.
hardware.
Okay.
So that's why I said
Which
right
is
now,
an
this
expense
ring
right
system is just temporary. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, this door will be closed and there's no way to really get to her, right? You're still paying through a window?
Yeah, you'd still pay up through the
So
window, yeah.
there's no real way to get to it without actually breaking down doors. And the police station's still within the area.
Within the area, yeah, but they wouldn't be in the building.
Well, and there's people sometimes, but
If somebody's buzzing down the door, you have time to call 911?
no, but I'm saying he could be in his office. That's his deterrent, not knowing if he's there. You're not gonna come in here attacking the big officer's gonna be standing there.
But that's why it's a small window right now, so we can kind of
Now you
figure out
have our,
everybody's scheduling and stuff like that, because that was the only thing,
verbal attacks.
that was the only thing the insurance company said was if she is here alone, the doors should remain locked. I can even have Dustin come in and attest to that himself. So this is just where we can kind of get everybody's schedules in place and just have a trial run of it for right now, and then see how it goes before until the next meeting, and then we can talk about extending.
I don't think people are gonna be beating the door down to come in. It's been so long since.
Yeah. That's what I was saying, well, are we gonna notify on the website that we're open from,
Yes, it will be posted on the village website that,
and we're gonna do a happy ad?
no, it will also be posted in the monitor as well. So I'll be adding it into the monitor and sending them.
I think happy ads work better than posting.
And then it will also
those.
be posted here at the village hall that it will be open certain hours. So if anybody wants to make a motion to open the village hall Wednesdays from 12 to 2 we just don't have a certain date in mind right now because I will have to go through the cameras and see how it went.
right, every Wednesday from now?
Yep, well, this is, I have to check the cameras to see how it went today, if it actually captured how it was supposed to and how it was stored.
Right.
But if it worked well, yeah, we would be opening soon.
I like mine.
I like mine too.
Yeah, they're good.
I'll motion it.
All right, and do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Now, again, this is not a set date yet. I still have to check the cameras, check the footage, make sure everything's set. If everything's good, we will hopefully be opening before next month's meeting. Way before that, but. All right. Now we have department reports.
You didn't.
Oh, yeah. Roll call.
I don't think you need a roll call.
No, you just want to do eyes.
Yeah, it's not money involved.
Well, I was kind of thinking with like them paying it, but
Yeah, either way, you don't.
do you want to do a roll call just in case?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not like
Us paying
spending
it.
money or anything.
All right,
so-
all in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right. One abstain. All right, motion carries. All right, we have department reports, DPW.
On the water study, I sent
I'm
last
at the bottom.
monthly operational reports to submitted Eagle. We finished up sending out the monthly sample this week, daily water point checks for chlorine usage, water pump, arsenic filter will be backwashed. Soon as we start spring fire hydrant flushing, probably the next couple of weeks. Plum cooling and heating came out and replaced flow motor and one of the furnaces. That's a water plant. Motor went bad in a few weeks ago. Wastewater side are weekly doing the lift station checks. We cleaned the storm drains. Yesterday I took a doing pretty sample of Vassar to have it analyzed so I can start spring discharge hopefully next week. Streets, we built some potholes last week. Banners, we'll probably put the spring banners up tomorrow, weather permitting. As soon as we use up the old coal patch, we'll order some more new coal patch once the frost thaws are off, which will probably be first of April, my guess. First Monday in April, we'll start our seasonal yard waste pickup. Last week we graded dirt streets in town. Parks, so we haven't really did anything with the parks, but probably in the next month or so we'll start getting summer again. Equipment, really the only thing we've done with equipment the last couple of weeks is we had to rebuild the carburetor on the lawnmower. It was full of dirt again, so just getting the lawnmower ready for mowing season. That's really all we had for equipment.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Do you have a plan or a date when you might tear down that pavilion at the Grove? Any kind of schedule with like plans? Not, don't have to hold you to it, just.
Yeah, I know there's been some discussion about it, so.
It's all taped off now, right?
Yeah, we just taped it off with the caution.
When I talked, Joe wasn't here the day that I talked with Vern and Ray about budget stuff, and we started talking about that a little bit, and then obviously today's surprise and issues kind of screwed up some of them goals, but apparently James Friars had offered to assist with that potentially and fixing that. I did not know this. This was news to me. Nobody had told us anything about that. But because of his family being the original family to donate that property, he had spoke of the fact that he would, I'm assuming and pretty sure it was just donate his time to fix. So now we're kind of going back to square one. I guess I need to talk to him to find out for sure. But then we proceeded to communicate with the idea of, Vern says that the roof and everything is in actually pretty good shape. It's the poles that are bad. I don't know how everybody feels about it. I just don't think that's a good placement for that pavilion. It would make more sense for it to be
in the sun. Where it's
down
surrounding.
where it's more affiliated with everything else that happens there. You know, my thought would be like at the far end, like almost on the property line at the woods, the bump and run track and everything, you know, like it's kind of up there where you're looking down at the ball field, but you have access to everything happening up on the hill. Not sure as far as electricity and such, that's my next. I've had plans to talk to some people, but now the ball field's a problem. So then there was concern of whether or not we could just take that roof and move it to up there. Then our only problem is the concrete. As far as, I would like a bigger pavilion if it was gonna be up there too, but one step at a time, and I don't know what everybody's opinions really are on that placement of where it's at.
Give Cece a plan. You look at it. Yeah, you just have to come up
And
with
then
ideas.
the same, so when I mentioned to the guys that play ball down there about what happened today, they suggested communicating with, so it's Cooper Electric is who did the lights last year. And then there's Cooper Excavating.
Right.
They're not the same. Whether they're family or not, I have no idea, but they're not the same. He suggested, like, get a hold of them about lights and them about, they should be able to help with poles and whatever. So then I was talking to somebody and they're like, well, maybe, like, if you got Nick involved, maybe Cooper could move that roof or something too. Like, we could coordinate a big project, but I'm not quite sure how we're gonna fund it exactly. I wouldn't mind if we had a plan and bids that I would take it to Frankenmuth Credit Union for their grants that they do. But we gotta have a plan in place and all that, so. I guess I'm gonna have to talk to Friars there and Coopers and figure out what people think can be done.
Because if they're having, using the ball field down there, and say, we have a overflow from ball tournaments up there, they use the Grove, you got a pavilion for some people to sit under, like, in between, you know, the play times, to be able to, you know, instead of going up top hill, it's right there where they can just be right there and they can still watch the games. The pavilion would, even with the little kids, you know, some of them and their parents, you know, sitting under there and, you know, if they take a break and they have a little snack in between, they've got something to sit at, you know, because, you know, there's a lot when it's ball fields and there's a lot of tournaments going on. It's kind of crazy and if they got something. I mean, that's just an idea. I mean,
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yes, I guess I don't know if we want to actually tell them to go ahead and demolish that quite
Right,
yet.
no, it's fine. No, it's fine. I just.
But yeah, we gotta
I
stay,
just
it's
heard
gotta
about the
be,
tape and I said,
yeah.
man,
and that was,
I
the
didn't know.
insurance
But
recommended
we do
that,
something. Yeah, insurance ain't gonna like it. We keep it like that either.
well, but he's the one that said, make sure you go tape it off and like, make it known, don't,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
We took care of any basic liability. If anybody goes and does anything with it now, we did what, you know, legally we could do.
it's good to hear that the roof is at least, that's, you know, all the costs add up.
All right, Chief, you got a report for us?
I do. Good evening. I sent my report up yesterday, so hopefully you got a chance to look at it. Not much to report, really, just a couple of things. I finished my my yearly end budget review, and if you guys don't know this, I keep a spreadsheet where everything that I spend goes in there, and I compare it with what I get from Kayla every quarter to make sure we're where we need to be. So I went through that. The Cub Scouts, I talked to you a little while or a couple months back about getting some air mattresses. I was expecting to get some cheap air mattresses. The Cub Scouts came in with boxes of really nice, good quality stuff. I wasn't able to meet the Cub Scouts. I got stuck at work, so I had a couple guys that were available to come in and give them a tour of the building. But through the community donating those, we ever have to use our place as a shelter, we've got something now for people to sleep on, and they're really nice, so thank you for making that happen. That was really good. 15 emergency responses since your last meeting. You can see the breakdown there in that report. We had another one this afternoon, so your burn permits are starting to take off. Everybody's in a hurry to burn their yard waste up and hopefully knock their yard down. You talked about the website. The website, from my angle, is become completely ineffective. I don't know why that is. It just doesn't work. I can approve burn permits from my phone. I cannot do it from my computer. It doesn't give me the box. So when I go in there, I log in, there's a box that allows me to find them. My computer, I can't do it. I only can do it from my phone, which makes no sense. I actually started a separate fire department email address. That way I can kind of circumvent that system and at least get burn permits out. I just did get one a few seconds ago, so it's working tonight. But
one of the issues that can happen with older code is as browsers and stuff are updated, code can become outdated and start to malfunction. So that could be one of the issues.
I just know that I talked to Randy earlier in the week, and it wasn't working when he had me on the phone. It started to work. Of course, we hung up and it stops. So I don't know where that problem falls. But I'd rather not have to go back to writing paper permits.
Are you confident in the fact, isn't it WordPress that form is through? Do you know?
I can tell you in a second, but yeah, I'd have to look it up.
I'm pretty sure.
I believe so. A few of us are going to Reese on Saturday for a high-risk unified incident command class. Basically, how do we work with police and other agencies if something really terrible were to happen? The idea is everybody works together to come up with a solution. So I've taken that training in the past, but we're going to redo it. I did a little bit of maintenance this week. Some brakes had to be changed. That's all on the report there. And I do want to thank you for passing that budget. We've come a long way. If you look at the fire contracts, you can see that when I took over as chief, it was like $52,000, $53,000. And we brought it up into the mid-80s just from the renewal of the contracts. And so we've come a long way. So I want to thank you for passing that budget. We still got some things that have to be replaced, and we always have ongoing maintenance. So that's never going to stop, but at least we're a lot farther than we were. And also, we're not going to ask you for any more money, but as you're doing your wage resolution, I just want to remind people that our firefighters are the cheapest employees you have in this village. And in fact, you pay your crossing guard $500 a year more than you pay the fire chief, just so you're aware. But unless you have any other questions, life is going for us. No, it's not a hint. I don't want any money. You got to keep things in perspective,
The nudge, wink, wink.
No, not at all. Just keeping you aware. Any questions?
No, thank you. You've
absolutely.
been doing phenomenal.
Can you confirm I had an invoice from More Motors that did not have an explanation?
It was an oil change and maintenance on the pickup truck.
Okay, just making sure, because that's what I had somebody call on it, and that was
When
what
we
I was.
bought that from Carol, that's where all the maintenance had been done on it. They had all the records. And so I took it over there to have them go through it and just make sure everything.
That makes sense, but I couldn't even figure out where we had a Ford to begin with.
That's the only one in the fleet.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You do not have a zoning report.
Oh,
Not
no.
saying that in my. All right. So let's skip that. And Chief.
Yes, last month, February was about average, 35 calls of service. The list is before you. Nothing outstanding, just basic policing. So administratively, I did not get to my meetings. I was sick during that period, so they're not on the list, but I was able to complete 12 hours, 13 hours of Police One Academy online training. And then special events, there's nothing listed there, but we did complete our lean audit. Should be there, I just forgot about it until I was reviewing it. And we passed with good colors, with flying colors. We had 8 outs that were all basically the federal government's issue, and we had to correct it. So, traffic enforcement, 5 traffic stops were made during the month of February with 0 citations and warnings given in many cases. So that's my report. Any questions?
Nope, I think you're good. Right? Everybody good? Thank you, Chief. All right, establishing counties. CC, you are up.
Okay. Are you still working with completing the RRC requirements. And one of those requirements is the capital improvement plan. And when Barb was here, she always said she was going to do it. Well, it still isn't done, and we cannot complete that until it's done. And I came in to check with Kayla today to see if she was working towards that or let me know where we're going with it. Because I have to contact Katie, and she wants to know where we are with things. So, and Katie's from RRC. So, I would appreciate some guidance from the council as to how we're going to proceed.
Okay, you have availability tomorrow? Come in.
I can.
Perfect. Come in.
My
talk to me.
response was that I have communicated with department heads about it a little bit and have gone through it, and yeah, I just don't know. I don't even know who to talk to as far as like, I don't know.
Please get my number after this, and we'll set up a time tomorrow for you to come and talk to me, okay?
But I'm making an effort for you, Keith, and we'll get it.
All right. All good?
I'm good.
Okay. Just make sure you get my number after this. All right. Now we have ambulance report from Jason.
All right. So I attended my second board meeting, so I am totally learning about the ambulance. But here is the operational reports for 24. And I apologize, I don't have a copy enough for everybody. That's all they gave me. So I would say I believe every year they give you an operational report what they did for the year. And I think that's been the only communication that they've done in the past. So that's why I'm going to start coming to the meetings and give you a little report. So I've been trying to learn as much as I can about the ambulance to give you guys a little bit of idea. So the ambulance was founded in 1976. So the ambulance came together that they wanted an ambulance service in Mayville, and they come to the agreements that the village of Mayville, Fremont Township, Dayton Township, and Rich Township would all help the ambulance exist. So then it was created, and they had standby fees that they go off the Census Bureau. So however many Census Bureau is in that township or that village is sort of how they charge. So in April, just to give you an idea on the numbers and money, so April 1st, 1998, it was decided $2 per person to help fund the ambulance. So that money would come from the village, from Fremont, Dayton, Rich. They would use that money to operate. So they never changed their standby fees for 25 years. So in 2023, they went up to $4 per person, per household wise in that. And a lot of people like, well, what happened? Why did these fees start going up? And now we're at the $6. Well, a couple things that happened. One, just like the fire department, the ambulance, the school, the DPW, the Legion, we were very fortunate. We had people pass away and left a lot of money to this town to help us survive. And the ambulance was able to use Arlene Western money to help them fund different things and different projects throughout the whole community use this. And so things were great and everybody was fine. They never asked for any more money because we had that. Well, just like we know, that money did come to an end. And then COVID hit. So during COVID, the ambulance runs almost doubled. People weren't going to the hospital. They were getting sick, calling 911. Call 911, ambulance is going to come. So we were burning out our EMS system. A lot of people were quitting, and they would go work at a hospital or a doctor's office because there, a patient has to call, make an appointment, come in. Where you call 911, we're coming no matter what. So during that COVID time, we had to start increasing our pay to pay our EMTs and our first responders a little bit of money to try to keep them. So that was one of the reasons we started increasing these standby fees. And then another reason
and I'm not an expert in any of this, this is just stuff I've been trying to find out, is Medicaid. So Medicaid is a government subsidized insurance. And with Medicaid, so an ambulance comes out to your house and picks you up and you have Medicaid, and they'll take you to the hospital, they'll take you where you need to be. Well, when we go to bill the insurance company, Medicaid says no matter what their rates were to charge you, Medicaid's only going to pay a certain amount. And that's pennies on the dollars. Anything you work with government, pennies on the dollars, that's all we can get. So for the ambulance, they're running a lot more of these Medicaid calls, so they only can collect a little bit of money. And we know the cost of fuel, maintenance, our wages, everything went up. So that's why we went from $2, $4 to $6 to try to help offset and have an ambulance. Because here's the honest truth. If we didn't have naval ambulance, and some people are like, well, we have MMR, we have MedStar, we have all these other ambulance companies. Why do we need naval ambulance? So here's the honest truth. There's been other communities, Vassar, Fairgrove, Cassidy, that had their own private ambulance, and they've gone to MMR and had MMR cover their service. As you can see, if you know anything goes on to the county, anytime there's an emergency, they move their ambulances around. So if there's a lot more emergencies in Saginaw or up north, they'll move those ambulances to that area. Therefore, you wouldn't have an ambulance covering you. With naval ambulance, we're guaranteeing an ambulance to be here. Now, can they be out on a call? Absolutely, absolutely. That's just one of the sad things. They could be on a call and have another call. That's just going to happen. But they're guaranteed to have an ambulance right here in town. A couple of communities have looked at, getting a private ambulance service, what they would charge. Standard rate, $12 per person per household. $12. So we're just asking for the $6 just to try to help offset some stuff. So it is really a great thing. And again, these are just things that I've been learning as I've only been on 2 months. But I want to tell you guys, in the village, where these numbers are coming from and why they're at where they're at. Because the biggest thing is lack of communication has been the biggest problem. So I just want to be able to communicate, open on this relation, and to let you know. So, thank you for my little soapbox talk there. But so last month, in the month of February, the naval ambulance ran 40 transport calls. So that was 40 calls that they actually picked the patient up, took the patient to the hospital, medical facility. They had 2 cancel runs. They had 6 refusals. So for whatever reason, ambulance got paged there, and the patient refused service-wise and that. And then they did have 1 standby last month. In the village of Mayville for February, we had 5 transports. We didn't have any canceled calls. We had 3 refusal of services and no fire standbys in the village. So just to give you a little idea of what we ran last month in the village. So hopefully that answers a lot of you guys' questions. I know a lot of people had questions about the money and where it was and what. So I just wanted to give you a little basic where it all came from.
Thanks, very appreciated. I like to see too that you guys that they've had about 4 new recruits in the last year. They were struggling the last 2 years to get recruits.
Yeah, and they're still struggling to get recruits. So if anybody knows anybody that wants to volunteer, they'll pay for your training. But you gotta want to serve your community. That's what it comes down to, and that's why I do what I do. Terry does what he does. It's just to serve the community. It's not to get rich, like he said. Crossing Guard makes more money than us. But don't do it for the money. We do it to help. So, but if anybody does have questions, anything like that, please reach out to me. I'll try to answer everything as best I can and get you the right answers and the right information. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I have a question. Can I ask him a question?
Sure.
Do you have when there are people at risk, are there people like at the ambulance base, or are they pulling from home?
Some are pulling from home. So it depends where that person that's on call lives. So some of the people, if they don't live in the area, they would be at the ambulance base or maybe in town here visiting somebody or at the restaurant or something. So No, they're not 24/7. Somebody sleeping at that station going to be right there. A lot of them are just like fire. We are on call. They'll have a pager and a radio, so when 911 needs them, they will page them out, and they will come from their house to the ambulance space-wise and that. So.
And I know I worked EMS for 20 years too. That's a full-time job, but I do know that part of the problem with EMS is none of the places pay. They don't pay the people enough.
No, I want to say, I think we pay, maybe, don't quote me exactly, I think it's like 7 something an hour.
Yeah, I mean,
is all
it's
we
not,
pay
you
them.
know, it's like you're giving back that rich risk in your life.
And again, they do it because you
Well, I
want to serve
know, I
your
was a
community
volunteer
and,
for many
you know,
years.
they're not trying to get rich, we're just trying to survive.
Suzette told me that when I ran into her, she
Thanks,
said
guys.
$7 an hour.
Even the hospitals don't do a whole lot. I know a couple of them do.
I just want to confirm then that being you approve the budget, you do approve that we pay the additional fee to the ambulance, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure so that when I do, I don't get yelled at by anyone.
Do you want to do a roll call vote on that, just to make sure that it's in writing and on there? Okay.
I'm good.
All right, manager report.
So you will see that it shows the last 2 months. I did have this last month, but we kind of
Went over.
had a lot going on last month, and by the time I just figured I had already spoke most of it. A lot of it is basic information. So from January 22nd to February 24th, I spent most of the month doing day-to-day calls and duties, but also we made sure W-2s were out by the end of January. All year-end and quarterly tax filings were done. Budget amendments and next year prep, transitioning and or including manager duties, adding myself as primary contact for all projects, renewed, which is dire for us to receive our federal funding. Correspondence with all project managers. Worked with the treasurer, implementing the new sick time rules, and as I said, we're discussing the equipment rates and how to update all that. Water bills were done and mailed on February 21st. Accounts payable, which is a weekly thing. I attended the Advanced Virtual Summit on the weekend of February 21st and 22nd. Had the meeting with Revise regarding the website proposal. I did reach out to Hugo's Locksmithing and had them come out to give a quote for new locks and electronic door key system. At that time, I had not received a quote yet. I did that considering you had asked about keys, who has keys, and in all reality, I cannot give you a straight answer on exactly who has keys. So, best thing to do is something different. I've communicated with the auditor about the audit schedule. Currently, the tentative dates are for them to be here June 2nd through 5th and July 14th through 17th. So I'm going to note that during them 2 weeks, I will not have the office open I will not be the one dealing with people. That will be up to someone else if that's the case, but that concludes for that month. So now from 2/25 to date, obviously budget preparation, discussion with all department heads and collaboration with project goals and updating the CIP. The 100 calls and emails about not receiving water bills, and bills were in the mail on the 21st, and how the post office had the mail count that week, and then all mail was sent to Pontiac. So due to that, I was asking to waive the fees for bills due March 15th. Weekly accounts payable. I had a Zoom meeting with Spicer and the contractor about the park project kicking off on the 10th, and it was anticipated that that equipment was all going to be finally installed last week. It didn't quite get finished. Now they're anticipating it to be done this week. Yeah, pretty much. And I know because they had the week, like it all sat for the weekend for the concrete all here and everything. And then the rain kind of put a damper on things for the weekend. And so like I said, our adjustments in there were how we are going to have to do that fire truck installation. So that does not have an effect on the grant and that project closing out. once they have the full install of everything and all the mulch and everything down, we have to do the native planting, which apparently it is like 3 plants. So they told me today they want me to send them a couple local nurseries that they can be in touch with as to finding who offers the best Michigan native plants and how soon we can have them ready. And then we will have to plant our own plants. And so I guess weather permitting and what these nurseries have available and how everything really goes, I would really like to think that by the end of April, this project will be done, but don't quote me. So, and then I was to be in 2 places at the same time, had the meeting with them about that on the 6th, literally at the exact same time I was supposed to be meeting with the insurance. We did that, went well. Like I said, will be an additional amendment to come relative to the playground equipment. Lagoon Phase 2 pre-con meeting has been scheduled for April 7th. I attended budgeting and fiscal sustainability webinar on the 10th of March. Council packets, the new BSNA credit card payment system implementation, water bill prep. I'm hoping that I will have them in the mail by Friday. And then this next week on the 26th, I have a webinar that is Bridging the Gap, Mastering Multi-Generational Leadership. And on the 27th, it's a My Funding Hub webinar. Not real sure what that is to include aside from funding. So I will listen. And then the big yay for today was the whole light pole leaning on the fence at Omer Park. So working on that. Otherwise, just that day-to-day phone calls and daily stuff, and I haven't been able to accomplish much. I won't lie, things have been a little crazy the last couple months. This transition has been overwhelming.
Giving your report, I think like the biggest thing that was ever told to me, your laziest day is somebody's most productive day. So don't be hard on yourself.
Well, I look forward to my lazy days on Sundays, let me tell you.
All right.
I made the mistake of looking at the date, and you're about to be hit with a fair amount of hard times. And what are we doing when they pay the late fee? We just banned it. What do we do when they pay it?
Oh, for
You're
their
gonna
water
give it back
bill?
to them? We have to come up with a procedure.
For the fact that I asked you to waive them,
Yeah.
I haven't even applied them yet. That's what I mean.
So
They haven't been applied for this month. They were due on the 15th. That fell over the weekend. Obviously wasn't here until today, and I did not even get a chance to work on the water bills.
Even the bank's gonna get them and whatnot. I don't know if
Well, if anybody automatically pays a late fee and it is not applied, it's just gonna be a credit towards their bill next month.
that's what I'm saying, you have to be prepared for that, because they're gonna say, hey, I paid it. You had a procedure set up to how you're gonna.
Yeah, it's just gonna go as a credit towards the next.
Okay.
That's any
Yep,
overpayment
I just wanna make you aware of it
done,
before somebody starts saying, hey, I paid it.
Absolutely.
Yep. not a problem.
Done it a few times, but yeah. It's, I just don't know how I'm gonna have them done by Friday, honestly, because I hardly started them. Great.
Well, that's a pretty good idea for tomorrow.
I don't know, what do I, there's things I gotta.
All right, so on to public comment. We have one from Linda Baldwin. When did a custodian get hired? Why are no jobs posted that are needed? So the custodian was hired last year. I want to say it's almost been a full year since they hired a custodian. It's almost been a full year since they hired a custodian. And Michigan is an at-work state. So technically they can hire because it's the best way to describe it. It's kind of more of like a contractual than it is a full hiring, because they come in when needed. It's not necessarily set every day at this time, this thing. Now, this was done under the past administration. We are trying to get away from that. So now we are trying to make sure that we do have everything posted. It is in the monitor. It is listed on the sites when we do get a functional, good site. But we are trying to make sure that now we have everything in 3 places. That's why we've been struggling with getting like the manager position posted and stuff like that, because it's a very detailed position that we need to make sure that we have everything set for before we put it out, which is actually going to be done this month for the manager posting and the treasurer position. So those will be posted.
I don't know. I lost it already. Never mind.
Those will be posted in at least 3 different places. So we are trying to get away from that where we just hire at will and trying to make sure that we kind of open it up to everybody.
Well, that just seems like it would be fair, because just from what not that I'm interested in any of the jobs. I don't want to, you couldn't pay me enough to come in here and work.
No, and
But,
I actually feel like because it does open up for people from
But there are people
different
that might be
areas.
interested in the job, and it just seems like, as long as I've been around here, it's like the council picks and chooses, family, friends. And
So
it just
definitely getting
doesn't
away
seem
from
like-
that to where it's going to be more open. It is nice to have people from outside perspectives too, because then it could shed light on situations that you're not normally aware of. You know what I mean? Somebody has more different life experiences than what we've experienced. So you don't ever want to just keep it in a closed position.
I will say that there is always, whether there's a position open or not, if you have an interest in a position here, you can always submit a resume and say, hey, if there is anything available in this line or that line
Keep me in
or
mind.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. There's application available online. You can always submit that information. We're not going to turn it away. I mean, it might not be utilized today, but it'll be on file for
Future.
when we need something. So that's just a little another note.
Another
It's
option
going up.
for people to do.
I can't say exactly when, but I'm trying. That's another thing that I've been.
The hardest part of the manager position is we have to be pretty detailed in what exactly we need. So, you know, we need to make sure that they are going to be able to fill the spot with what we need. Because a lot of them are not going to be able to do like the grant writing and stuff. So we have to really try to be as articulate as we can in the job posting to try to get exactly what we're going to need moving forward. So the same thing with the treasurer too. So, and then you also the second part, what is with the grant for security for insurance? Is that going to cost the village? Honestly, so far, we were only made aware of the grant and how much it is. He's going to be getting back with us though before the fall, which is the next time that the grant is actually up. He did not say anything about a matching. So this is kind of where like the insurance company takes like a preemptive step. So like with boat ice being done. Now, if anybody goes and vandalizes it, spray paint, anything like that, the insurance company would naturally have to cover that. But if they had security cameras in place, they could actually see who did it, track them down, and then they have to pay for it. So it's kind of like the insurance company trying to not have to cover things.
Yeah,
So
it just doesn't seem like they're gonna do that out of the goodness of their heart.
it saves them in the long run,
They
though. I
do.
mean, if you think about it, like majority of the painting and stuff like that is $5,000, depending on how big it is. You know, if they damage any of the park equipment, you know, that's gonna be thousands of dollars that they're saving that they could just go after whoever did it to cover it.
I
So
want to know that it's not specifically the insurance company, like Decker agency specific. It is Michigan Participating Plan, which is a statewide program that offers them risk grants. And like I said, that it's not going to, it will pay for our cameras, but yes, there is going to be the expense of the village for the subscriptions annually or monthly or whatever in that line of stuff. So.
and there's no set company we would have to go through. So we would have to go through and get 3 bids, you know, from security companies, have them come out, see, you know, what they're able to accomplish, especially with boat ice, since generally in the village you don't really get a good Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So we would have to try to figure out something either hardlined. There's a lot of things with the park that we're going to have to kind of go with the flow on and see what's available. So
How many grants do they give out?
they give out 2 a year. So 2 a year for $5,000 each time. So as a combined, it would be $10,000 a year that we could potentially get for
And
security.
how do they choose who gets it?
Oh, it's a general. So you apply for it and you can get it.
Yeah, I don't really know this one.
They just have like a set cutoff, so that's why they only do it like twice a year. So The next time he said it was gonna be in the fall, and he's gonna try to reach out to us, well, we'll be reaching out to him too, to make sure before the fall hits, to have everything set up for it. But right now, I mean, we have the basic ring cameras in place, so we can actually start posting the meetings, and we can actually start opening up the hall and everything, so. Anything else?
Couple other things that I just thought of. I just want to let you know I saved a couple $100 a month.
Oh, okay, then you're not killing me.
I'm going to be, I haven't done it yet, but I will be eliminating a form of internet down at the DPW. That's $129 a month that I'm going to get rid of. I did a new updated contract for our rugs that saved us $145 a month. So I'm at almost $300 a month that I've saved in the last couple weeks as well. And then I wanted to say, I mentioned how I had Hugo's come out for locks. It's not pretty, I will tell you that. It does not have to be everything that is on here. I don't know why there's only 2 here. But
I've already got one, and I think,
I thought I had at least 3 or 4 in here though.
no, Jody gave me one. I think, Kathy, did you already get one?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's same with all this.
You're only down one.
I'm good.
Well, I found one more, but I need to look at it a little bit. Not asking you to act on this right now either. I just wanted you to see it, and I want you to know that like, they broke it down by area, so we do not have to take all of it. We do not have to do like all the office doors and such per se there. My recommendation, just to avoid constantly having to have new locks and keys, new
It'd be
keys
essentially what the
made,
firewall
and blah, 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 to have more of a fob card system with just a master key that a couple people have.
This is to ensure somebody doesn't return their keys, after they leave the hall, we can just deactivate their number.
And then
So there's no like physical exchange, we don't have to chase anybody down for keys, that kind of thing. It's immediate, you're gone, your number's deactivated, you no longer have access. And then it also stops us from having to keep replacing keys if somebody decides not to turn them in. So it's a long-term kind of fix for this.
He informs me how that entry door there is actually really not that secure. So that's why on the police door that you see like the panic bar strike and panic trims and a new closer and all that stuff is to make that a much more secure door, because it's not what it should be for a police department door, especially. So just something to look at. I know it's only one. I did have somebody give me another number to another place today, so I will call and maybe see about someone else coming for some stuff, but just something I want everyone to think about.
So we'll have more info next month on it. But it has been being looked into.
Let's see.
Yes.
I don't have any questions about locks. I want to know out here and also downtown. Because if you look at the sidewalks and the curving down there, it's not looking too good.
I noticed one spot down there that's cracked. all across.
The new sidewalk?
Yeah, the new sidewalks that we just put in over here and down there.
It's a purple building. It's all cracked across there. I walked
The
uptown.
sidewalk itself is not looking that great. I don't know who did them, but did anybody come out and check them to see how they're weathering? I mean,
I don't
just
know.
put them in.
Don't we have an inspector for that?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well, I don't know if anyone's been out since winter.
Yeah, since it's just started getting warmer out. Because especially with new concrete and stuff like that, you're always going to have the compression and the decompression with the weather. So we can call them and have them come out and take a look at it.
Yeah, Steve from Spiker is on my list. And then,
I mean, they just put that in, last fall?
Well, that's also why we haven't done the final payment on Turner yet, is
Well,
because we had to see how it weathered, so.
Just checking in with
Oh, you're good. I appreciate you letting us know.
Yeah, because
wasn't
I
made
didn't
aware.
know that there was any issues. I don't walk downtown ever, so, the only thing I noticed, like the post office, is where they like did the new sidewalk and now where the old sidewalk's starting to lift or something, and there's a little bit of a trip hazard, but that's not on us, so.
Yeah, because I thought that was under agreement that they were gonna replace that, that whoever owns the building was
Yeah, the
gonna
post office.
Okay, so
replace, yeah.
I'm
But,
just looking at the sidewalk that
Right.
we just put in.
okay,
So,
I will look into it.
Well, now that he's brought that out, that, out the entrance out here, that carpet and that's like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah,
I brought that up
she's
long
been
time
on
ago.
that, and, but you guys left the door open, so I guess we're gonna have to take our chances with that one for a while, cause.
It's an accident waiting to happen.
I know,
Just
but
rip off the carpet.
I thought you were gonna get a hold of somebody too.
Well, I didn't get any idea like there was any money to do that.
Well, that's the other, I have no idea, obviously, we got. Does it really need to be carpet?
Well, it needs to have something done out there, even if that's just ripped off.
what if they do rivets in it? Is that
I
possible?
think it's destroyed enough that you're not
Just
gonna
rip it off.
make it work.
I haven't seen underneath it,
I don't know
so.
what it's like underneath. Does anybody
So
know?
you need to double-
Cement underneath of it, it's
I
been
know.
glued down.
And that's
I know,
coming
but I
into the
don't know.
building, right?
Yeah.
Because this is-
AstroTurf for the old
Yeah, like the indoor outdoor.
indoor,
Or-
outdoor.
And that's quite a while,
Yeah, it's,
for the amount of
it's
traffic.
been there forever. It's forever.
So, anybody know who to contact for that kind of thing?
What about steel, or,
That's what I was in
what if
contact
you
with.
know someone?
Jeff Cummings drives by here in his van all the time. He takes care of that in a minute.
Who clear?
Jeff Cummings?
Jeff Cummings.
I'm not even.
You don't like him, huh? All right.
Nope, not even giving him the time of day.
How bad is it to where, like, can they do a patch on it?
No.
No.
I haven't seen underneath it, so I'm not sure. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Rick should be able to give us even a quote.
Okay, and if not, still
I
contact.
didn't know if like normal carpet people did outdoor stuff, that's why I asked.
I'm sure they do patio and stuff like
Yeah.
that, so.
It's worth looking into.
Yeah.
All right, any other public comment? In case you didn't fill out a card, didn't see the cards, or have questions during meeting.
I have a question.
What's up?
In October 18th minutes from 2022, so none of you were here,
Okay.
except for Kayla, they purchased cameras for this building.
Yep.
For a total of $1,350.62. What happened to those?
Those are all on the outside.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So the cameras you're looking at now are for indoor.
Indoor, yep.
Okay.
And these ones
Okay.
indoor are 24/7. So the ones
Okay.
outdoor are more like motion detected and stuff like that. You could change them to 24/7, but they're battery operated, so it just drained the battery horribly. So right now they're motion activated, but the ones indoor are 24/7 right now.
Okay. Okay.
Are they cheap too?
Which one?
The ones outside? How long do they stay?
They are, so with the camera systems, they are going into like a cloud for at least 30 days.
It'll be
So,
the same.
yeah, it would be the same. Anything else? All right. Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. All right, motion carries. Thank you guys all.